Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Creative Living. I'm the Reverend Doti Boon, and I'm so excited that you're going to be joining us today. Now, do you know how many people it takes to put on virtual church? Well, we have the wonderful Reverend Corky Whitaker, who does the lighting, who does the videotaping, who does all these great things. And then Reverend Ann Corbin is going to be doing our message and our wonderful prayer today. Our wonderful Reverend Dr. Janet Childs is somebody many of you have heard from before, and she's going to do meditation accompanied by some slides by Reverend Corey Gott. And then we have the Reverend Dr. Eileen Augustine, who is the producer and also the engineer who puts everything together. Now, it might sound like everybody I'm talking about has Reverend in front of their name, and that's correct. We are all reverends in the Universal Church of the Master. And if you're interested in becoming a minister in a wonderful New Thought spiritualist church, you might want to contact us. I'm sponsoring ministers. I almost said monsters. No, that's not the case. It's really ministers I'm sponsoring, and it's a great way for you to get your message of how you believe in God out to the world. So please take a nice deep breath and completely relax and listen to the wonderful Reverend Ann Corbin.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Ann Corbin, Associate Pastor of the Center for Creative Living, and I'm pleased to bring you this opening prayer today. This week's topic is finding happiness in difficult times. I know our Reverend Dottie will have a wonderful and inspiring message to share. You know, as I prepare for the opening prayer, I meditate on the weekly topic, and that helps me to open up to inspiration. So this week I've been thinking about what brings me happiness, especially now that we're all living in such a strange and challenging time. Some of the things that did come up for me were the love of my cats, meditation, the love of my friends, nature, and of course, music. Music is always number one for me. You know, in fact, my favorite musical artist, John Anderson from Yes, is going to be performing a short live concert and interview right after church today. I'm very excited, as this is normally my concert season, and I've been missing seeing live shows and meeting up with friends at those shows. It's going to make me feel very happy to see John live, even if it's just remotely. Thank goodness for Facebook and YouTube and other outlets for these types of musical events. And not just musical events. If you look, you'll find inspiring speakers, beautiful art, wonderful meditations, anywhere online. A few weeks ago, I had reached out to John in an email, and I asked him if I could share one of his songs as a part of the morning prayer, because his songs often contain powerful lyrics, and the music and words come into my mind as I meditate and pray. He did get back to me, and he said I could share the song called Soon, which is the ending portion of a longer song called The Gates of Delirium. That is based on Tolstoy's War and Peace. In my heart, Soon is not only a prayer for peace, but I also feel it is Mother, Father, God telling us that the light is coming, the war is over. I was so happy that John said it was okay for me to share. So today, I will be doing my best to be singing Soon for you, a cappella, as a part of this morning's prayer. Let's get started by closing our eyes and taking in a nice deep breath. Breathing in love, light, happiness, abundance, and peace. Hold on to that for a few seconds. and then breathe out all that is not serving your greatest and highest good at this time. Breathe in again. And breathe out, setting all your cares aside. Feel free to leave them sitting right next to you, and Creator can handle them for you. Dearest Mother, Father, God, universal love and light, thank you for bringing us together on this beautiful day to share our oneness in this magical virtual environment. Thank you for the Center for Creative Living and the Universal Church of the Master for being foundations of loving energy, allowing each of us to bring our unique selves forward, celebrating our diversity with joy and pride. Thank you to all those that help put together the weekly celebration for YouTube. Many hands and many hearts working in harmony for all. Thank you for our first responders and all essential workers. Please keep them safe, Creator, and please keep us safe as well. Thank you for helping us to remember that all life is precious and that your magnificence runs through all living beings, including the plants, stones, animals, insects, and the ocean life. Thank you, Creator, for always reminding us that our reason to be here is to hold the light and to open to the oneness we are. Thank you for reminding us that we will get through this time of deep clearing and awakening. Sometimes it can feel like we're in a war, and you are always reminding us, Creator, that you have our backs and you are here to help us find our calm, trust, and confidence that we've got this. Thank you for helping us to find the way to your light and love as we find our peace inside and we reflect that out to the world, and you, Creator, help to share that in a beautiful wave of the love and light to the world. Soon, oh soon, the light pass within and soothe this endless night, and wait here for you, our reason to be here. Soon, oh soon, the time all we move to gain will reach and come. Our heart is open, our reason to be here. Long ago, set into rhyme. Soon, oh soon, the light, ours to shape for all time, ours the right. The sun will lead us, our reason to be here. Soon, oh soon, the light, ours to shape for all time, ours the right. The sun will lead us, our reason to be here. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, God. Blessed be. Amen. And so it is.
Hi, this is the Reverend Doti Boon. I told you I'd be back. And I'm so excited to be talking to you today about how to be happy in difficult times. And these are difficult times. I'm not going to tell you to ignore everything that's going on. I'm just going to say to take it easy on yourself. Don't constantly watch the news or get caught up in all the media that's going on. Find that center. Find that place that makes you happy. And we all have one. And sometimes being happy is based on little things. And other times we base it on past memories. And sometimes we look forward to future dreams to make ourselves happy. Have you ever thought of what it was that makes you happy? Let's talk about some of the things that you can do to change the way you're feeling about life. This is not a time that you need to be depressed, anxious, scared, because those emotions are called worrying. And what my spirit guide, Mahalalel, what he says is worry reduces your immune system. So the more you worry, the more you become sick. So every time you think of something you can't change, remember, you can hear things, you can see things, but if you can't change them, stop worrying about them. Now, I'm not saying not to be one of the people who marches, because they are bringing about change. I'm not saying that you should be one of the people that stop praying. That brings about change. I'm not saying not to do anything. I'm saying to let go. Let go of worry. Let go of anxiousness. Let go of those things that don't serve you. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be happy. And most of all, we want you to be you. Don't take on the mantle of anyone else. Just be yourself. I bet you can do that, because I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can change. Are you ready? I'm going to have to look at my notes. Have you ever have a talk like that when you do? Because one of the things that I noticed is that when I talk about being happy, it's people in my life. And you think about, when you think about the people in your life, don't just think about them. Call them. Skype, Zoom, text. We have so many ways for you to reach out and touch those people that are important in your life. And some of those people may have been relatives you haven't heard from in years. Those people that you remember so fondly. Take a moment to reach out. Because when you reach out, they know that somebody cares. And quite often the difference between being happy and being depressed is knowing that somebody cares. And that's the way we start this happiness ball rolling, is finding a way to help other people. So when you think about what is one of the first things I can do to get around despair, is to reach out. I know many of the people in our church are reaching out to the homeless. They're helping work with distributing food, giving people rides. There's so many things that you could do that takes time. Not money, just your time, your heart, and your spiritual energy. Find things in your life that can do that. Because when you can connect with friends, family, and faith, you will find so much happiness in all of those. I know for myself, my connection is every day I try to call 4 people. Some of these people are in the hospital. Some of them are all alone at home. Some of them have no family or friends. And when I call, they say, "Oh, Dottie, I was just thinking about you." And that's what I felt. I picked up on their energy, and I called them. You can do the same thing. Don't sit and wait for people to call you, because you're going to gain happiness in being able to help other people. And just the simple act of calling is so amazing what it does to change your day. Try it. And if you don't have a person's email or phone number or text, go back and see the last time they contacted you, and you'll find it. They're waiting for you to give them a call, I'm sure. And what happens when you try to help yourself? Have you been writing in a journal? Have you been taking any online classes? There's so many wonderful online classes you can take. You can learn how to paint, write, sculpt, and get into fashion, all by just going online. Amazing, amazing classes. So you start thinking, I can reach out and help people, or I can go inward and help myself. And then what about faith? What about when you think about reading a book, pick up the Quran, or the Torah, or the Bible, or the Bhagavad Gita. Read some of the religious texts that are out there that are going to help inspire you with faith. I know you can do that. There's so many wonderful things you can do to help yourself in that way. Now, what about the simple things you can take pleasure in? How many of you take a walk? You don't have to walk very far to see squirrels scampering up trees, or watch kitty cats run around, or even just look at flowers, or feel the sunlight on your face. Those are such simple things. For me, I had a surgery, and as I was leaving the hospital, and my wonderful partner, Corky, was giving me a ride home, I said, I don't want to go home. I want to go to Henry Cowell Redwood Park. And we did. And I just went inside the park and sat in a grove of redwood trees and let them heal me. And it was the greatest thing I could have done for myself. How many of you need to be nurtured by nature? I know some of the people that are watching today go to the ocean. They might not even get out of their car. They just sit there and let the energy from the ocean bathe them in their love. Remember, that ocean has been all the way around the world. That ocean has touched everyone. And mainly, it has touched people who are laughing and having a good time. Let that energy bathe you. And some people, it's just going to a park and sitting and watching the kids play. These are simple things that can bring you happiness. So start looking at where those very, very simple things are. Okay, guess what? I'm going to have to turn a page right now, because as I was writing this last night, I remembered all sorts of things. Because one of the other simple pleasures is cooking or baking. How many of you have baked a cake lately, or cookies, or a roast, and smelled the wonderful aroma of baking or roasting things? It's a simple thing, but it makes you happy. And you haven't even eaten it yet. And yet just doing it and smelling it makes you happy. Now, how about practicing gratitude? How many things are you grateful for? I know when I get up in the morning, I'm grateful because I'm alive. And for some of you who know me, you realize that was pretty tricky a few years ago after I suffered a couple heart attacks of not knowing when and how I was going to wake up. Well, now I do it with gratitude. And I'm sure there's things that you can be grateful for. being able to see, being able to hear, being able to walk, whatever it is. And what about music? Put on some music. Turn off the television or turn it to a music station and dance. You don't need a partner to dance. You can do it by yourself. If you don't believe it, watch any 2-year-old. They put on music and they wiggle all around. You can do the same thing. Put on music and wiggle and giggle. One of the other things I do that I'm so grateful for is after I get out of the shower every morning, that's where I do my meditation. When I get out of the shower every morning, I stand naked in front of a full-length mirror. And I look at myself. Not with disdain, not with judgment, but with, yay, there she is. Isn't she beautiful? Or, hey, that's a sexy broad. You know, whatever you want to say to yourself. It's you talking to you. Stop talking negatively. Instead, start talking positively. Can you do that? I bet you can. Now, what about mindfulness? And what about meditation? Talking about my meditating in the shower. Where do you find time and a place to meditate? When I was raising lots of kids, and I was working full-time at a wonderful spiritual place called Lockheed Missiles in Space, I would drive up to my house, shut off the engine, and sit in my car and meditate. And my children knew that they couldn't bother me for at least 15 minutes after I parked in the driveway. And I very calmly brought down all of the negativity I could think of and let it flow out the window. I didn't need to take that into my home. And I meditated on the peacefulness I was bringing into the household. Meditation doesn't have to be in a yoga position on a mat. You can do meditation anywhere you choose, for you to let go of the negativity and bring in spirituality. And spirituality isn't just about one specific religion. Spirituality is you getting in touch with your higher power, with the Creator. Try meditation. And along with meditation, do some manifestation. How many of you know what that is? I wrote a short column for the CCL Insights this week. The Center for Creative Living puts out a weekly newsletter. Corky Whitaker talks about hypnosis. I talk about whatever it is I'm going to be talking about. Joan Stutz talks about helping you financially. And Tamara Bell talks about astrology. And we have lots of interesting things that we talk about. This week, I talked about manifestation. What is it you truly want? Not what you don't want, but what is it you truly want? Say it out loud. Write it down. Think about it at least 10 times a day. And you can bring about what you want. Not what you need, but what you want. What do you want to make you happy? You personally. Not the world. Not your family. Not your next door neighbor. But what is it that you want to make you happy? You can manifest it. The things that I manifested that didn't happen, I usually found out later, wouldn't have been good for me if they had. And talking about manifestation, when I was much younger, I decided I wanted to travel. But it was kind of expensive to travel. And I wanted to travel around the world. How am I going to do that? Well, the first place I wanted to go was Sedona, Arizona. So I located a guide, a man who said he would show me around Sedona. And his name was Ron McLean. And I communicated with him, and I said, well, what happens if I bring a few more people? He said, the more the merrier. So I ended up with 10 people going to Sedona. And each one paid me to take them so I could afford to pay a guide. Well, that started spiritual retreats with Doti Boon. And so far, I have taken people to England, Scotland, Ireland, Greece. We've taken trips to Hawaii, to the Big Island to swim with the dolphins, to Kauai to go to the monastery there and do spiritual work. We've gone to the Hopi Nation, and we've danced with the Hopis. I've taken people to the Caribbean to look at all the spiritual places like Tulum and Cabo. That was the biggest trip I've ever taken. It was 117 people. And now Mount Shasta. Many of you have gone with me to Mount Shasta. I think I've been there now 6 times. The last time I went to Mount Shasta with a group, we had 55 people. And I had had a series of heart attacks just 3 weeks before. And Mount Shasta did her very important magic. And I felt better. And I healed. So when you do things you want to do, incorporate other people into your dream. And that way you can manifest. Yeah. Think about manifesting and bringing people into what it is you're looking for. Now, it's one of the other things that you can do is maintain realistic expectations. What does that mean? Celebrate small victories. Okay, remember the cake I said you might want to bake? Celebrate it when it comes out of the oven. I celebrate everything. And they might not just be victories. They might be a celebration of somebody having achieved a specific goal. For me, I celebrate every birthday. People come up to me and say, I met you at one of your birthday parties. Well, some of my birthday parties were 300 people. I feel that I deserve to be celebrated. And my small victory there is I got another year older. Isn't that a nice victory to celebrate? And I'm always so appalled when I meet people who say, today's my birthday. I said, what are you doing to celebrate? And they say, oh, no, it's no big deal. Yes, it is a big deal. In your lifetime, you may only have 75 days that are just for you to celebrate. Or 80 days. 80 days in a whole lifetime that are just yours. That's a small victory. Let's celebrate it. And maintain that energy as much as you can. How are you doing out there? Are you hearing what I'm saying about how wonderful you are? I hope so, because that's what I think. You're a very wonderful person. What about play? What have you done recently where you just played? I think one of the most fun things I ever did is I was working at Lockheed, and we had the most depressing supervisor. I mean, he was the worst. And all the women in my department, and it was entirely women, were griping and complaining. And I said, we need to play. So I went into the women's restroom, which was huge because it had been used for a while, where people could go and wash their hands after working with caustic material. So it had like a big fountain in the middle of it. It was an amazing women's bathroom. And I drew a hopscotch. And every break and at every noon, we all played hopscotch. Can you imagine 22 women of all ages shouting and yelling and hopping and skipping and having a great time? The poor men would stand outside and say, what are they doing in there? And I said, we're playing. And that was like an obscene word. You're playing? Yeah, we're playing. We're playing like little kids and having such a great time. What is play for you? Is it playing cards? Is it playing games on your device? I do wonderful Scrabble with friends. And for some of you, playing is putting together jigsaw puzzles. That's fun. And it's playing. So I want you to think about that. How many have ridden a bike lately? Or how about a skateboard? Isn't that fun? Isn't that playing? How about coloring? Finger painting? Playing with Play-Doh? Remember doing those things, those tactile experiences, and how great they were? And that's play, especially when nobody's judging you. And how about writing some new knock-knock jokes? They're fun. And sharing them with your friends. Just pure play. Each one of you has the capacity to play, to enjoy life, to appreciate nature, to manifest things, to talk to spirit. To me, that's sheer fun. I just say, hi. You know, when I start out with Dear Creator, I feel like the little kid kneeling on her knees and praying to God. It opens up my belief in everything that is. I believe in looking at things lovingly, spiritually, happily. Let go of the negativity. That's not who you are. You're a beautiful, laughing, excited child of God. Reclaim that. Nobody takes it away from you. You give it up. Let's bring it back again. You know, if we were in church, because CCL has a brick and mortar church, if we were there right now, we'd all hold hands and sing, "This Little Light of Mine." That's where your joy is. That's where your happiness is. So think about that. Where have you hidden your joy? Find it in doing things like a child. Being surprised. Maybe even looking at old photographs. Remember taking pictures with Kodak? A lot of us have photographs stuck away. Bring them out and look at them and remember those positive times. And maybe even write who's in the picture on the back of it. Because every time you write somebody's name down, it reminds you of the joyful times you had with them. Yes, you can be happy during a pandemic, during protests, during people not having enough money to pay their rent. You can worry about those things. You can worry about politics. But can you change it? Only think of things that you can bring about change. If you're really worried about what's going on in the country, see if they need more help doing the census or registering people. Find ways for you to reach out. Don't be alone. Sitting at home alone can be very depressing. Reach out. And if you want, give me a call. This is the Reverend Doti Boon saying, I love you. I know you're a beautiful child of God. And I appreciate your place in life. Your spark of joy just needs to be bright, and you can do it. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in getting a copy of today's talk, please contact me at safedoti@aol.com, and I will gladly forward one to you. Also, I want to announce, because I forgot to earlier, that the wonderful Scout Bartlett is going to be giving a talk next week. And now Scout is a radio personality. He's a wonderful psychic, a great spiritual being, a man with a wicked sense of humor, and one of my dear friends. And I'm so excited to have the male look on what's going on. And his talk is going to be informative and interesting. And please mark your calendar for next Sunday. Scout Bartlett will be talking. And we want you to listen to him, type comments into him, and let him know how much you enjoy his talk. And if you want any more information about him, go to Life Insights, Scout Bartlett, look him up. And also, he's at East West Bookstore quite a few times a week. And we're really excited about having him. Thanks much.
So here we are, my friends, in a wonderful space on this morning where we are all gathered together. And this is about reclaiming the happiness, reclaiming the joy, reclaiming the gifts that we are to each other, and capturing those moments of pure delight that remind us that we are alive, that we are here in this moment, in this day together. So I just invite you to settle in to that special place that makes you feel happy. It might be a memory, a happy moment. It might be a hope or a dream that is calling you. It might be a sweet sight or sound or aroma or taste. What makes you happy? How can we claim those moments of pure happiness? We can do that by staying in the moment, breathing in its wonderfulness. Because even when it is painful, even when it is hard, we have that opportunity in a beautiful way to be fully in that moment, to be fully present in that day. And whatever we are experiencing, it is there to give us a gift. And the gift is the present. To fully acknowledge, to fully embrace all that we are will bring us to that oasis of happiness, that promise of sweetness that life always gives. And so close your eyes and just give yourself that moment. Give yourself up to that imagination. Where does your joy live? Where does happiness sprout its flowers of many colors and aromas? Where does playfulness come in? Do we ever allow our inner child to just play with abandon? We would do that for real little children, but so often don't give it to our inner child. for that reminder of when we were totally and completely loved. Breathe that in, my friends, and know that you too can have that sweet memory embedded in the neural pathways of your brain, and you can call upon it. You can bring it to you. You can summon it forth. You can offer that gift to yourself every day. Joy flows from the river of hope. Hope dances in the forest of love. Love is born in the delight of the moment. Moments are cast in the stones of our dreams. In our dreams. Ooh, in our dreams. In our dreams. Like a bubbling brook as a rising sun. In the full moon's breath we sang our song, our happy song. Come on along, sing a happy song. Sing a song, come on along, sing a happy song. We are together we sing our song. We are the song, singing the song. We are the song, singing our song, happy song. We are singing our song, sing our song. We are the song, sing our happy song. We can sing together, we can sing forever, we can sing night away, we can open up the day. Sing a song, come on along, sing a happy song. Come on along, sing a song, sing a happy song. Come on along, sing a song, sing a happy song. Come on along, sing a song, sing a happy song. So every day we can be this for each other. We can be that joy, that happiness, that moment where we are dancing in pure delight. Ooh, sing the song. Joy flows from the river of hope. Oh, dances in the forest of love. Love is born in the delight of this moment. Moments are cast in the stones of our dreams. Like a bubbling brook as as a rising sun in the full moon's break. We're singing our happy song. Sing along, come along, sing a happy song. Come on along, sing a song, sing a happy, happy, happy. Even in the midst of sorrow, happiness abounds. It is precious and it is here. Embrace it to you every day. Sing a song, come on along. Sing a song, come on along. This is our happy song, our happy song. Never alone, come on along, we sing our happy song.
Thank you for joining us for this celebration of faith and fellowship. We'll be back next Sunday, and for those of you, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments section. If you appreciate this video and the work that the Center for Creative Living is doing, please press like on the video. You can share the video, and also please subscribe, because that will help this community and the church grow. Remember, in these difficult and challenging times, the opportunity to give and support an organization that has done so much for the community is tremendously important. Please help the Center for Creative Living continue in the wonderful work that it does. We will make it through this. We will be stronger for it. Our faith will carry us. Be blessed, be safe, and have a wonderful week.